And just like that, we back. And just like that, we back. And just like that, and just like that, and just like that, we back. Ah. We collectively have been so well with justifying the injustices of the world that we live in, but we tend to forget that the spiritual laws apply no matter the matter. There are so many injustices happening all around us at any given moment that we have accustomed and adjusted our lives to allowing those injustices to live peacefully and to live freely while we live in fear, angst, and worry. This is Justified, the mini-series specifically designed to highlight the many injustices that are the many things that are being used as weapons for injustice in this world that we live in. Today, we're talking about none other than control, peace, and love, beautiful beings. I am Danae. Welcome back to the Guide of Enlightenment. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm super excited to talk about this episode, talk about what we're talking about on this episode, because, baby, I think if nothing else, this would be one of the things that is 111 on the clock. This will be one of the things that is literally the root. I would say one of the roots or one of the pillars of the things that are being used as a form of injustice in this world that we live in, okay? And that is, in the simplest of terms, control. We see control. We, at some point or another, many people have seen themselves being controlling to other people, whether it's your spouse or significant other, whether it's your children. But when you live in a world that's surrounded by so much control, my goodness, 144 on the clock. When you live in a world that's surrounded by so much control, we unconsciously will attach our beliefs, our thinking, our walk, our talk, how we carry ourselves into this belief system that we're supposed to be controlling too, because our mothers did it before us and our fathers before us, right? We think that control is the way to go. And I want to be clear here, right? So you have people who are in control. These are typically the people who are in flow. These are the people who are in flow with who they are and what they are. These are the people, two on the clock. These are the people who are in control with who they are, when they are, how they are, why they are. Right? Those are right. So it's beautiful to be in control or to be in flow of who you are, right? But then you have people who are controlling. These are typically the people that want to try to manipulate or persuade or encourage everything, everyone, and place around them into thinking the way they think they're supposed to think, or moving and operating the way they think that they're supposed to operate. That is a controlling person, right? And again, this is like the root or one of the core pillars of the world that we live in, the system that we now call world, right? And we've just been collectively in this space of thinking that control is natural, right? And it's one of those things that even gets passed down from one generation to another, and it's literally a form of injustice. That it is a weapon that is being used to contribute to the injustices that we experience on a regular basis, right? And so I want to talk about three specific things here in this video, in this particular episode. And the first one we're going to talk about, none other than expression. Right? When you are first born into this world, right? When you first come into this world, everything about who you are is already engraved in your authentic being, right? But then you have mothers, you have fathers, you have godparents, you have aunts and uncles and grandparents and all these people who are trying to impress upon you how you're supposed to move, how you're supposed to walk, how you're supposed to talk, how you're supposed to carry yourself. You have people who are trying to tell you that you're supposed to conduct yourself or express yourself a certain way. Expression literally is they try to tell you how to dress, right? You ever dressed a certain way and then somebody told you that's inappropriate? Or how to walk. How is a genuine, authentic walk inappropriate, right? From the way you dress, from how you walk, how you talk, how you choose to do who you are, be who you are, right? That is being used as a form of control, because from the moment you were born, you're being told how to express yourself. You're being told when to laugh and how to laugh. You're being told when to smile and how often to smile. You're being told if you even have permission to smile or to laugh, right? Or that the only time you get to smile or laugh is when you have a reason to. I get asked often, like, why are you so happy all the time? Or why are you so joyful? Why you seem like you're so at peace? Why you always seem like you're having so much fun, or like you're just smiling, you're just walking around laughing? And I sincerely ask people the question, I'm like, why shouldn't I? Right? Or I will tell people, why do I need a reason? Right? But typically people are so conditioned in the belief that you need a reason to smile, laugh, be free, have fun, or to simply express yourself in whatever ways, that those people tend to try to put their controlling contradictions off onto you. Whatever has been passed down to them, they try to tend to put that off onto you. Second thing is verbalizing, right? Verbalization, right? What you are saying. How often have you expressed yourself with love and peace and with respect, but yet and still what you were saying wasn't meant? Because people tend to think that when you are in, let's say, a business environment, talking professionally only means being in agreement with the boss or with the head honchos. Talking with respect or professionalism only means doing what they want, saying what they want you to say, when they want you to say it, how they want you to say it, where they want you to say it, because other than that, that's inappropriate. That's disrespectful, right? These are forms of control that are being used. These things are being used in your households, right? When your mom says, oh, well, you can't say what I say, right? Because I'm the adult, right? And according to the way the way things are meant to be, the adult is the one that's supposed to be leading by example. Am I right or am I right? Right? So if you're telling your child, like, do as I say and not as I do, right? That is a form of control where you're telling them how they're supposed to express themselves based off of what you telling them to do or say or be, right? Control. And again, that's that thing that's been passed down from one generation to another. And the third one I want to talk about is allocation, right? What are we talking about when we allocate? When you allocate different things, it's talking about the different parts of yourself. Right? We all are made up of different parts. You may be able to sing, dance, write, draw, cook, clean. You may be able to paint. You may be a good performer. You may be entertaining. You may be a musician. You may be a nature fanatic, right? Whatever the different parts of you are, all of those parts of you deserve to fully be able to express themselves, right? Verbally, mentally, emotionally, physically, in whatever ways you feel led to express yourself, right? Well, according to the world, you can only do certain things at certain times, in certain places, in certain ways, because everything is not allowed or accepted, right? I remember recently, maybe about a month ago now, I saw a video where this guy, he turns his radio in the park, right? Everybody has their blankets and stuff like that out. Everybody's kind of talking to their one or two people that's, at their little spaces, but everybody is just kind of, being bland, for lack of a better term, right? But they're just being bland old people, right? And it's a beautiful day outside. He literally comes, turns his music on, and he starts dancing. And for about the first 20 seconds, most people is just kind of looking at him like he's crazy. And then about 60 seconds in, he had somebody came and joined him and started dancing with him. And then after about 3, maybe 5 minutes in, he had a whole group of people that had chosen to get up and dance. And the entire crowd of people were thoroughly entertained. And it literally changed the whole mood of the park, the whole environment, right? But when people get to control what something is supposed to look like, they want to feel like they can dictate and determine how something is going to turn out. But baby, when you have people just genuinely and authentically having fun, being themselves, moving how their spirit leads them to move, being who they're meant to be, and showing up as that, and all of who they are, baby, you can't control that. And you can't control the outcome of what that's meant to be, right? So when we talk about unjust, right, we're talking about things that are not in the best and highest interest of the individual person or the collective being of people that are involved, that is literally going to affect. So when you think about expression, when you think about verbalization, when you think about how you allocate the different parts of yourself, right? Every part of yourself is meant to be expressed in the fullness without being shrunken, right? Some people are really good at verbalizing things, right? But then they're kind of shy when it comes to maybe singing, or when it comes to dancing in public, or when it comes to like sharing their creative arts, or when it comes to, I don't know, drawing or skipping or working out in public or whatever it is. But it's like some people are better about doing certain things publicly or period, while they are very good at doing other things. And this is because the powers that be have created an environment in our world where we collectively speaking think that it's better to just shrink ourselves, and we call it humble. We shrink ourselves and we say, oh, well, I got to make room for other people, when in actuality, it's abundant. The room and the space, the environment, it's all abundant, baby. There's more than enough room for everybody to be all of the parts of themselves that they're meant to be. That's the message. This is the 4th episode of our mini series, Justified. I hope this message resonated with someone. I hope this message made sense for those of you who are listening, who are still here now. Thank you so much for tuning in to every single episode that y'all have been watching. Thank y'all so much for sharing, for liking, for commenting, for subscribing. Thank y'all so much for all the love. Listen, you do not deserve to be controlled by anybody or anything, not even the sound of my voice, baby. Do you understand me? You are you, and you deserve to express, verbalize, and allocate all the parts of yourself in your fullness without hesitation, without shrinking, and without ever having to doubt or question if who you are and how you choose to show up is enough. Because yes, it is. This is justified. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you tell a friend to tag a friend, and tag a friend to tell a friend. Until next time, peace and love, my beautiful beings. I love you. I love you. I love you. This is